Hey everybody, I wanted to take a couple seconds and talk about modes. If you're a guitar player or if you're a musician in general, you recognize that as a major scale. And if you're not a musician, you recognize it as the do, re, mi scale. So that's basically the major scale is basically what Western music, and what I mean by Western music, I mean Western European music that developed from the 1400s, 1500s, and so on. That was basically the scale that was used to base a lot of the music compositions on. And on the piano, that well, I was playing an A scale there, but a C scale, the easiest one to play, is all white keys. There's your do, re, mi scale, okay? If you take this scale, oh, by the way, there's a certain ratio. If you look here, there's a black note in between. So it's actually 2 steps away. Okay, so these are, when you have one note away from each other, it's called a half step. When there's 2 notes away, it's called a whole step. So the second note in this scale is a whole step away from the first note, or the root note of the chord. The next note, the third note, happens to be a whole step away, because it's 2 half steps. There's no black key in between here. This is a half step. Here's another whole step, another whole step, another whole step, and a half step. So that's the formula for a major scale. You have a root note, and then you go up whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So that's the formula. So if you start this scale somewhere else, let's start it here. If we played all white keys, it wouldn't be a major scale because it wouldn't have the right formula. That formula only occurs on the white keys from C to C. If you go A, you have to go whole step. Okay, good, there's our second note. Now our next note, the third note, is a whole step away, which is not this, but this. There's your do, re, mi. Okay? Your fourth step is a half away. Your fifth is a whole. Your sixth is another whole step. 7, another whole step. And 8, or starting again on 1, is back to the root. So your scales need little fixes in them depending upon where they start. And those fixes are called accidentals. They could be sharps, they could be flat. But the idea is that there's a certain ratio that you follow to get that sound. If we go back to this C, and we play from C to C, that's our major scale. It's also called Ionian mode. But if we take that same scale and we start it on D instead and play those same notes, that's Dorian mode, because it has a different ratio. Because we changed where we started from. This, start on the third, that's Phrygian mode, and it has, each one of these modes has a distinctive sound. And different countries gravitated over the years towards different modes, so it's really interesting. If you go up to the F to F, you have Lydian mode. What's Lydian mode? Ooh, it sounds like a major scale so far. Pretty cool. Ooh, that's different. So it's kind of a major scale, but it's got a different... If you wanted to make this a major scale, you would have to go whole step, half step. But in Lydian mode, beautiful sound. Then from G to G is Mixolydian mode. That has a sound all its own, okay? Pure minor. And then you have Locrian, which is not used all that often. And it's very strange. It's useful. Almost sounds like a Phrygian scale, but not. There's some differences. So if you're learning modes, you might think, well, what good is this? How am I going to apply this information? For me, it's what they sound like. It's the color. it's the color. So I may be listening to something and I hear what was that? That's Lydian. That's Lydian, and I can hear that the bass line is going G, and then I'm hearing a Lydian sound, and I happen to know that's a sharp 4, and I know right away where to play that because it's so I'm not just hearing it, I'm hearing the nuts and bolts of how these things fit together. If I hear something like this is Mixolydian. Or oh yeah, I hear that. That's Mixolydian right there. That's the flat 7. So once you kind of get used to what these sounds sound like, it becomes real easy to kind of to understand what you're listening to. That's going to be Phrygian with this sound. So once you're hearing that stuff, you recognize those sounds right away. You could be playing something like and just go, okay, I hear that. That's the flat 2 chord on there. You start to hear the colors, and you start to be able to paint with sounds, if that makes sense. So I think understanding modes and understanding what they sound like. Here we are in C. What's that? You got it? Lydian. What's this? Phrygian. Okay, what's this? Mixolydian. So you can start hearing stuff like, you hear, oh, E flat major 7, and I hear a Lydian sound in there. That's going to be an A natural. So it's I think of modes as colors. It's Ali. So think of modes as colors, and if you think of these modes as colors, say hi, Ali. Say hi to everyone.
Hi everyone.
Oh, say it again. Let me put you on speaker. Go.
Now?
Yeah.
Hi everyone, whoever you are.
So we were just talking about modes in music and things like that. So anyway, guys, so that's just use that information. Take a listen to different modes, and it'll help you figure out what you're listening to and how to play it. So anyway, take care. See you soon.